Hey everybody, Johnny B here. It's the JONNYLAND Live POPcast. It's a brand new segment called 3 Questions With. And with me for the first one is none other than Steve Smith, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, jazz, rock, drummer extraordinaire, my inspiration for picking up sticks way back when I was 11 years old. So we're going to do 3 questions. Steve, how you doing?
Three questions, good.
Yeah, they're mystery questions.
Let me get the sticks here. So really, you've been
Steve Smith
out.
Signature Vic Firth sticks.
Yeah. Well, let's tell them where we are first of all.
We're at Birdland Theater, New York City, and we're downstairs tonight. Steve's going to be doing some sets now for last night, tonight, and tomorrow with Vital Information. Why I love jazz is because of Steve's 3rd Vital Information album, Global Beat.
Nice.
I've told you this story
Absolutely.
a bunch of times, and Island Holiday is the thing for me, and I've been listening to a lot of jazz lately, and the New Perspective
Fantastic.
album that just dropped a few months ago. He's now touring. He finished the West Coast. He's here on the East Coast. New Perspective, which features a couple of really cool arrangements from Manuel Valera, who created these jazz rocky kind of versions of Don't Stop Believin' and Who's Crying Now and Open Arms.
I'm going to just jump in. Yannick was the one that did.
Oh, he did?
Not Open Arms.
Who's Crying Now?
Who's Crying Now?
Yeah.
And so they're all everybody's
got their own New Perspective.
That's
and
right.
also a couple of vintage Vital Information tunes, The Perfect
right.
Date,
Yep.
which is another favorite I love from the Fia Fiaga album. And I'm probably the only person that knows that in Samoan that means celebration. Got it from your liner notes. A long time ago.
Yeah.
And the Cherokee Express, and then you had a couple of new original stuff that you wrote.
3 of a Kind. I'm going to play that one for you tonight.
Good.
So
Good.
yeah, it's going to be a good night.
That's awesome.
So what are the 3 questions?
So the first question that I want to ask.
Make sure I don't. There we go.
Yeah, come on. Really. Gee. We could just poke you with a signature stick to get it right.
No, we're good now.
The first question that I'd like to ask is, as you've been touring and playing the music from New Perspective,
yes, and
I just want to say the cover art, which I love on a personal level because that's the artwork that I have in my house.
Right on, thank you.
Just the sort of, it's almost like the negative copy of it. It's with the black and really colorful background. We have the white background, the internal conception, internal perception, external conception. Or, I get it. It's
internal
conception,
external perception.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the one.
Yeah.
But I love the cover art, and when I saw that was what you were using, the first thing I said was, I have that in the house.
Totally cool.
And it's great. So the first question really is, as you're playing the music from New Perspective, and I know that you famously had said in the past that you didn't want to rework some Journey tunes into jazz tunes.
Right.
And Manuel said, I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
And so you started playing these tunes a couple of years ago, and I remember when we were sitting here and we heard what ultimately I had that aha moment of, that's Don't Stop Believin'.
Right.
How does it make you feel when you maybe see or hear after a show that people have these aha moments where they're sitting there saying, boy, this really sounds familiar. And then eventually they realize they're listening to a jazz rearrangement of a classic Journey tune. And so it seems like, once again, you have spanned a generational and musical, not even a boundary, by incorporating some of those tunes now into the Vital Information world.
Right.
And what does that make you feel when you see and hear the feedback of these fans?
I'm happy that people are enjoying these new arrangements of the Journey music. I mean, if we go back, I just never thought you could take a Journey tune and turn it into a jazz tune. Do a jazz interpretation. It didn't seem like it was even possible. And I had, and Vital Information is like separate than Journey, so I didn't really have the idea to bridge the two ever until Manuel and Yannick came up with the idea. So since Manuel did come up with an amazing arrangement of Don't Stop
so
Believin',
good.
and we played it. It sounded like Vital Information, even if it wasn't Don't Stop Believin'.
Right.
You know, it was just, so it was undeniable that we should play it. And like you're saying, like when we used to play it, like a year ago, we just play it and wouldn't tell anyone what it was.
Right.
But now I tell them we're going to play it, you
Right.
know, which is kind of helpful because I give them a heads up. Yeah, we're going to play Don't Stop Believin'.
And then it's
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier for people to hear
Then
the,
you can
the
hear,
melodies.
yeah.
But I have a video clip, I think the first time I saw you guys playing it. I'm like, what is this? What is this? And the chorus comes in.
Yeah.
And I turned the camera on us and I said, what the? That's amazing. Like I was blown away. And so, you know, you get the goosebumps. It was very similar to when you were playing Self-Portrait
Yeah.
on the last tour. That was such an emotional tune for me to hear, and
Yeah.
it still is. But because Don't Stop Believin' was the song that made me pick up a pair of drumsticks,
Wow.
it's another one of these things where clearly you've been crawling around up in here and said, let's give him another one. Question 2?
All right, what's the second question?
The second question is, after you break from the Vital Information stuff, you take some time over the summer and you're going to chill and do your things, and you come back in October here to Birdland, you're going to be playing Bud Powell music
Right,
and Thelonious Monk music in October.
right.
Is there any difficulty that you have in going from artist to artist, or you're playing Bud Powell music for a few nights and then a few nights later you have to play Monk or something like that? Is it an easy transition for you, because you've done it several times now, but is there a headspace that you have to find yourself getting into for that?
It's not difficult to switch gears to play the different composers' music, to play the Monk music or the Bud Powell music. There's actually, to play in Birdland and to play the music of Vital Information, that takes some adjustment because a lot of the music is written around that I'm going to have a certain kind of drum approach.
Right.
And there's going to be a certain kind of like level of intensity that's going to come from the drums. And it usually lives on a bigger stage. And it's very hard to sort of make it fit in the Birdland Theater because I have to play a lot softer than I would play, let's say, if I play another club that's bigger, or even upstairs at Birdland.
Right.
You know, if I played upstairs, it's a bigger room, so I can relax and let the just, you know, play out without thinking about holding back a little, which I do have to do here. With the Bud Powell music, it's all acoustic bass, acoustic piano, and I just inhabit a lower dynamic level, and that's fine. And the same with the Monk music. It's like a lower dynamic level in general than the Vital Information music. So it's actually not that difficult. It's just that I have to do my homework and learn all the songs.
And speaking of that, if my memory serves, similar to things that you had done like with Miles Davis music,
Right.
and John Coltrane music, these are very specifically sort of engineered playlists.
Yeah.
and ways that you're being asked sort of
There's a
to play these
producer
things.
that hires the band, Milan Simic, and he programs the show, and he says, here's the songs, here's the order of the songs, here's the order of the solos.
Right.
And once I do the homework, and all of us do the homework, and we learn the songs, and then we get together. There's no rehearsal. The first, Friday night, 7 o'clock, is the first rehearsal,
Right.
in the first set. And so we play the music, and then it gets better as it goes. But once, like, here's the tune, here's the tempo, and then it's really on us to create using that template of those compositions.
And after the first couple of shows, you're in that groove.
We're in the groove, and we are learning how to play with each other. See,
Right.
that's the other thing about jazz musicians. We all share a particular language, and we can get together even if we've never met before or don't know each other or never played together before. But as soon as we start to play together, we have that common language, and then you can just start to
It
make
flows
music.
from there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So the third question
Yes.
has nothing to do with Vital Information or Thelonious Monk.
Okay.
It's going to be a couple of quick this or that's. And I just want to get your take on things.
Okay.
New York or Boston?
New York.
Summer nights or winter days?
That's a good one. I'm going to go with summer nights, so
Thin crust or thick crust?
thin.
Thin. Why?
It's like real Neapolitan pizza, thin crust from Naples.
Okay. And lastly, if I were going to be stuck on an island for a month,
Stuck on an island for a month.
stuck on an
All right.
like the island on the front of the Global Beat album.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nice place.
Which island?
Let's say it's Aruba or somewhere nice and warm, somewhere with a
Okay.
couple of palm trees. Give me a movie that I'm going to take with me, and am I taking Frontiers or Escape?
You have to take one of those two.
I have to take one of those two and a movie.
I would say Frontiers.
How come?
Frontiers is, a more developed version of that incarnation of Journey.
Okay.
And Escape is a very good album, but it was the initial album with that lineup when Jonathan Cain joined the group.
Right.
And then we had a couple years of playing together, working together, and so Frontiers, I'd say, is a little more developed, and I think it sounds bigger. Like I like the sound of the drums on that. If I'm just,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, that's
the drums sound better, and it's a great selection of tunes. It tells a good story from start to finish.
And I like what you were saying on Elmo's podcast
Yeah.
about some of the B-side on Frontiers with
Right.
with Back Talk and the Frontiers tune,
Right.
the title track where some of that drumming is so unconventional sounding,
Yeah.
and it really kind of compels the listener to really kind of sit down and dig into it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
what would be the movie that I take?
Yeah, that's a rough one. I don't know if I can come up with a
Favorite movie?
totally favorite movie is hard.
I'm just going to say that the anniversary of Jaws was yesterday, 50 years old.
Yeah, Jaws scares me. I saw that when it first came out, and I was summering in Chatham. You know, Chatham, Cape Cod.
That's
and
Shark Central.
Now it is.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be.
Yeah, no,
But it scared me into not going into the water for a really long time.
so that's
so
why
definitely not Jaws. Oh God, I don't know. You know what movie I really love is Meet Joe Black.
Really,
Yeah.
that's
You
a
ever see
good.
that?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a very good movie. And that's like one of my favorite movies. Like every couple of years I'll put it on.
really just
It's
to watch. And
yeah, it's such a great concept and a great story.
I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's literally
and
I saw
good
it
music.
Well,
really
that's-
good
you got to
music.
have a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
But you can't really beat Brad Pitt usually. And
Oh, he's
and
great
that's,
in it.
I'll have to take another look at that
And
one.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, well, he's
Yeah.
for me that's Hannibal Lecter, but you know. But I
Another
listen,
one.
So
I'm
that,
never going to watch that one either.
You're not gonna apply to the FBI.
I saw
at
it
this
once, but
point.
just once is enough.
Once was enough for her too. So that's my 3 questions with Steve Smith here at Birdland, and we'll get another shot of these. Steve's signature.
And keep 'em.
Vic stick. Oh,
Take
thank
them
you.
home and use them.
Thank you.
All right.
He's got a couple of dents. We're ready to go.
I used them last night.
I appreciate your time. It's a great,
All right, John.
great time every time you're here. Thanks again to Steve Smith for taking a few minutes before the Vital Information set here at the Birdland Theater, New York City. JONNYLAND Live POPcast. 3 questions with more content coming soon. Thanks, everybody.